You're up to Deftones, and you're watching loudguitars.com, where it's all guitar geeky stuff. And smoke some weed and enjoy it.
How you doing, Steph?
I'm great.
How has the Montreal visit been for you so far?
Freezing, cold.
Freezing. Did you get to enjoy any of the Festival of Lights last night?
Oh, I enjoyed it as a spectator, but nothing more. I didn't go out and participate in any drop of it. Mostly because it's snowing. I'm not a fan of the snow at all.
Well,
I despise it.
Being from California, I can understand that.
No, because there's a lot of Californians that love the snow, man. Very great, and they can't wait to go hit the mountains and go snowboarding. Not me. I have no intentions of racing down the hill on a board through some frozen ice. I think it's just my opinion, of course, but in all my experiences, I can safely say that people have a far greater time in their life when it's hot versus when it is cold. Your most memorable experiences will all been when it was hot. Not to say that you won't forget or remember them really cold ones too. You remember those just as great. Those are strong memories too.
Totally.
But they're miserable ones.
Totally. Now, speaking of great things, I remember you mentioning before when I got on board that you don't really look at previous shows as better than this one or better than that one. I asked you about how Toronto was, and you said it was great. Like, you appreciate every basic show as great.
Well, it's not that I appreciate it as great. I just elect to have a great perspective about it. I ultimately can be fucking a little bitch and complain about a long list of shit, and I assure you I've got a long list of shit to complain about. But I've learned through endless series of complaints in my life that not one of them has fucking got a drop of greatness from it. So what's the point? Why fight it? I make my comments when I want to make them. I hope that they're heard and accepted, and maybe even considered enough to make a change. But otherwise, I just carry on. Have my perspective of just enjoying this, because the truth is, the opportunity supersedes all the complaint.
If given the opportunity to talk about what you want to talk about, non-guitar related, non-Deftones related, maybe.
Yeah, no, well, my conversation is simply always about perspective. I mean, that's what I love talking about, because regardless of our point of origin or who we are or what it is we do or enjoy, you know, everything can be great for everybody if everybody sees everything with a great perspective. But most people choose to see it from their own selfish perspective, which is certainly acceptable. Just don't be offended at another person's perspective. You know, understand there's so many other ways. And in spite of how great yours is for you, it's just simply yours. Try opening up and see if you can be great at other people's perspective as well. Don't be so closed-minded with one method.
Okay, now speaking of perspective, what is your perspective of the music industry today, and what it's done to artists and the accessibility of artists?
I think music today is awesome. You know, as far as the industry goes, I mean, there's so many different dimensions to it. You know, what aspect is done something greater than another it's all debate. You know, I think the one thing that's more spectacular now than ever before in all of history of music is the internet. Because with or without any industry support, if anyone out there with any great talent and persistence actually puts the right performance on YouTube and the right person sees it to trigger the landmine, you know, and watch it do its thing all over the internet through whatever means, viral or not, you know what I mean? If your stuff is actually great, that's all you need.
Yeah, you have a huge opportunity with the internet to get it out there and get it out there quickly.
It just has to be great. You know, great can be defined in countless ways. You know, I mean, I endlessly tell people all the time, you can make something now that is literally and absolutely the worst and most horrific thing and repulsing that you've ever heard in your life, and it'll be loved by more people than you could possibly imagine. So what's it matter?
No, it's all perspective, like you said before. It's you know, it's an avenue for people to do their thing and have the people that like it, and the people that don't, right?
But that's everything. That's all subjects, all the time, everywhere, throughout all of existence.
How do you feel about people downloading your music for free?
I say all hallelujah to them. You know, and I say it for only one reason. You know, I mean, the truth is, people who download your music are your fans, or people potentially going to become your fan. And if you're going to be upset that somebody's interested or becoming interested in your stuff, then what's the point? What are you doing? If it's all about money, then certainly you're going to be offended. But if you're actually, your intent is to enjoy what you're doing and have others enjoying it, then this should be a no-brainer. I welcome all people to download the music. They won't be the first, they won't be the last, and for anyone to fight that, it's futile. I've done, from the day we started doing this to this very moment, I've done nothing different. I have not been. I remember when downloading became any kind of conversation, and seeing it from its birth to where it is now, and it is, in spite of anyone's opinion as of what it's done or not, I have done nothing different. In fact, all I've done is actually embrace it as a great thing, because like I said, I know who's doing it. You know, and for all those people out there that can download stuff and even sell it as bootlegs, and all the people that take merchandise and they're able to sell it on eBay, celebrate those people too. You know what I mean? It's just effort. There isn't anything out there that you can't do. I can't be offended by people, you know, enjoying this in some way. You know, then it just, you know, the conversation. The difference that would shift in that conversation would be an exchange of currency. So what's it matter? You know, you're either going to get the same thing for free or you're going to get it for top dollar. You know, and I don't know. I can't worry about either one of them. The internet guitar-wise has literally inspired me to where I'm at the point in my life where it's my intentions to do the MI course and go through it and get certified.
You being serious about that?
I'm dead serious.
Wow.
Because I have watched so many people on the internet who are just flat out shredders, man. And all instruments and all ages, all men, women, girls, and boys, man. People are killing it nowadays. And it's like the norm. I'm like, God damn, what the hell?
So that's become important to you?
It's not important to me. It's just been inspiring to me. Like, you know what? I want to do that too, man. Look at these people. They've made it seem effortless. I know it's not, but I want to figure it out.
Now, given no problem. Given what you've done in music, rhythmically, landscape-wise, texturally, all that you've created from guitar, do you feel that you've evolved a lot as a player over the last 10 years?
Yeah, well, I have a drum set. A double bass drum kit, acoustic and electric, that I intend to incorporate into my guitar rig. I play keyboards. You know, music has taught me how to let my mind just be as free as it wants to be and experience whatever it is it wants to experience. Because there simply are no restrictions in this world other than the ones that you've set for yourself. Now that applies through all bits of life. There is not one subject void of that fact. As far as guitar goes, that's why I would love to go through the MI program. I know it's going to be difficult. I can't even do the program that I would like. I would love to be able to attend there and go through the day-to-day classes and all that, but I just simply can't do it. It just wouldn't be feasible of me, you know. But I was told by a source that they have alternate programs that I would be able to participate and do this and to achieve the same thing. So I have yet to go into it and fully research these things or even speak more about it, but it is my intentions before this year's up to begin that journey.
Now, thinking back to when you guys started out, do you remember the moment when you recognized that things were changing for Deftones, that you guys were crossing over and it was starting to go up for you? Do you remember that period?
It's as far as from my perspective, it's always been, you know, an evolving experience. You know, I've experienced it all, where people like it and don't like it. I'm grateful for those that do. I'm not worried about those that don't.
But there must have been a particular moment when, like, you guys initially were doing what you were doing, and you recognized, wow, this is really starting to take off, and how that felt for you?
I think that moment happened the minute we all jammed as a band for the first time ages ago. Our music really is just a reflection of what our time as friendship, what the time as we spend together as friends is. You know, when we're all hanging out as friends, we're writing a record or we're on tour. You know, when we're not writing a record or we're not on tour, everybody's got their own lives and they're just living their lives. So everything up until Adrenaline was us just living our lives every day, being the guys we were and making the songs and then making a record, and then we went out. But from that point forward, it became a representation of the time we spent together making music. When we get together as friends, that activity will generally be making music. Is it all we do? Absolutely not. You know, everybody's going out and, you know, we'd love to go have great dinners. We love, you know, I'm not much of a drinker, you know, but, you know, everybody will go out to the bar, get their drink on. But, I mean, it could be anything. There's no definitive thing that it is that we could all enjoy or not, but our activity as a group of friends is simply our music.
So
And
it's always been a celebration of the music and what you guys do. There's never been a defining moment for you realizing the success and...
no, because like I said, you know, for me, my perspective has always been, simply put, the success is in the act of doing it. The minute we were able to do this as a collective, that was the success. You know, everybody else's opinions about what we're doing is just simply everybody's opinions, you know. I would love to think that people would all go, man, that's amazing shit stuff. You guys are the best, but that's not realistic or even halfway desired, you know. I believe that when people actually like it and they're genuine about it, they're very clear in it, and it's felt. You don't have to. It's not something you question or wonder, man, are they telling the truth? You know it because they actually live it. And all the others that aren't interested, whether they just aren't interested because they never heard of or they just don't like it, hey, same power to those people. You know what I mean? I appreciate you saying that you don't like it. I'd rather you tell me you didn't like it than tell me some bullshit like you thought I needed to hear. Oh, your music's great, for me to say something to you. You know, I don't need that. That's not why I do it. I don't play the guitar because I can't wait to get the accolades. I actually play it because it's still kind of fun.
That's awesome.
I have no clue what I'm doing other than what I've been doing forever. And what I've been doing forever has just been fun and simple, but trying not to just be what it's already done, even though I love what's already been done, and I got no problem doing that too.
That's awesome. It's funny that you should mention that because I've noticed in a lot of the things that I've seen, some of your ESP videos and some of your discussions about shredding, that you know, you claim that you really have no idea what you're doing. You pick up your guitar and it comes out and you do it. You know, is that really true? Like, are you?
I'm just saying, as far as training, from a standpoint of training, you know, like I don't know. I mean, I literally don't know a single scale. That's to say, it's not to say I couldn't figure one out or understand them. I just don't know them because I've never been interested. My entire interest as a guitar player is almost 100% been rhythm based. Like, my favorite guitar players when I started playing guitar were Scotty Ian, James Hetfield, and Jim Martin from Faith No More. And between those three dudes, I got a healthy dose of fucking sick ass rhythm, tone, and melody. And that's me. I just see the way I play based on those three dudes. Now, since then, and among those, there's been a fucking endless list of players that have just blown my fucking mind, and just endless fucking sickness out there, you know? I mean, those were the three at the time, and those led me right into everything that, you know, what Primus was doing. You know, I got way into Mr. Bungle because that's when Patton really started breaking all that stuff out. I fucking love Mr. Bungle. I mean, it's one of my favorite bands. And they make unbelievably stunning fucking shit. You ain't never gonna hear that band on the radio. And I talk about it every day. I won't say it because I'm just gonna try to be positive about it. But, you know, it's sad. People just don't have no sense, and they don't want to think. They just like some shit that allows it to go. You know, it's horrible. It's horrible, man. Terrible. It's terrible.
Now, speaking of guitar players, who are you digging these days? out of the new crop of players?
Well, I love everybody from Periphery, everybody from Tesseract. These guys here, the Contortionists, are amazing dudes, you know. Animals as leaders, they're killers, you know what I mean? Let's see, Sky Harbor, the Volumes, Veil of Maya is fucking sick, Decapitated, Meshuggah without question. I mean, Jesus, you know, there is zero fail. You put on any Meshuggah record, all songs, be like, damn.
Now, outside of metal music, do you go and seek other genres of music to inspire you?
I listen to all kinds of stuff. I mean, we just had 3 Trap Tigers with us. These guys are fucking amazing. You know, and they only have for like 5 shows. I mean, it's like all these bands I love. We just such little runs with them. I would love to do a festival tour, like a 20-band tour. You know, go all day and just have 20 bands ain't even enough. Truthfully, I mean, we could with all the music we listen to, we'd stack it up, and it would be completely diverse. It'd be a genuine festival. People would love that shit if we stacked all the bands we wanted to take out. You know, I would love to, you know, we would love to do stuff with like Depeche Mode. We could all safely say that Depeche Mode would be one of our favorite bands to tour with. That ain't happened. It's not gonna say it won't happen, but it ain't happened yet. And if it did, though, we'd be like, God damn, this is gonna be great. Mm-hmm. People would trip out. That crowd would be like, what the fuck happened here? But not really. That's only the perceived reaction. The truth is, people would love it just the same. Because why? Because people went to a concert. They actually like to see live music.
Has technology changed the way you write?
No, it's just technology's giving you the ability to do everything by yourself if you like. That's all.
You personally, is that the way you see it?
That's the way I see it. That's the way I choose to use it. It's I'll be flooding iTunes with my own little production soon enough. Soon, you know, that I got all my equipment in order and I'm ready. You know, it's just gonna be me sitting around in the room, just fucking around. Oh, that's cool. There you go.
Or like, do you find yourself recording your riffs all the time?
No, I never record them. Like I said, I've watched so much YouTube and this and that, and these people are just doing it all the time, and I'm just like, man, I want to flood a whole bunch of shit up there myself. Here you go, here's my shit. That's why I got all my GoPro cams, so I can get all make my little YouTube videos all sick, all by myself.
When you have riff ideas now, do you capture them on your phone?
Never. I never concern myself with capturing the riffs because I feel like I play the same riffs all the time, and it's gonna come. They just come. I mean, every time you pick up the instrument, you jam and noodle around. This riff this time, that riff that time. If it's good enough, I think a riff, you'll remember it every time you play, and you'll fiddle around with it until you molded it into something.
So what's the writing process like with you guys these days? Do you get together in a room and toss ideas around?
It's been the same forever. We all hang out, you know, in a little jam space. And everybody gets their sip on, get their smoke on, eat food all the time, talk hella story. We do more living than we do jamming. Like we'll be, you know, in a room for 6 hours, and 4 of those hours we was just kicking it, doing nothing but just talking shit, watching videos, just getting high, drinking a beer, whatever. Enjoying our company. So when we actually get on the instruments, everybody's happy, feeling good. Ideas come up, everybody feels it as a collective, you know what I mean? It's never just like we were there forced to create something. Just create stuff because you like to create it.
So you guys are still doing it all together?
Yeah, definitely. We do our stuff individually, of course. Everyone does, but you know what you actually hear is what came as a collective. Mostly, I'd say 90+%. You know, there's some things that get on there, and I'm like, how? I wasn't on that shit.
Now,
Not much, though.
Were you guys track together mostly? Like when you're tracking beds and stuff like that, or when you do your parts separately?
No, our process always has been in the past, up until these, you know, Diamond Eyes, we've always done, well, we would do like a live take of the song, you know, multiple takes, you know, try to get, you know, good versions, and then we would comp a drum track and move on to everybody doing their things, and that's why we did everything through Saturday Night Riz, basically. And since Diamond Eyes, me and Sergio, we laid stereo tracks of each other down to a click map, and then I bail. Like, they go in, have fun, take your time, dog. Cause I ain't got time to sit there and play 1,000 times for Abe to get his part. I ain't gonna do it. I just ain't gonna do it no more. I got better shit to do with my time. I'm 42 years old. Time is short as far as I'm concerned. You just don't know.
42 years young, man. Let's talk a little bit about gear.
It's old. I got no problem with it. Look, it's my intention to go to 100 or longer if possible. I'm hoping that science and technology creeps my ass up to 275 one day if given a great shot at having a good life. Shit, why not? I'll be realistic. It ain't gonna happen. But you never know. I mean, 42 and 30 years, man, amazing shit could happen. But probably not, only because too many greedy fucks are in the way.
Now, gear-wise, for a lot of years, you used a JMP1 with some power amps and some rack gear and some pedals. And I've noticed that your gear has evolved a lot over the last few years.
All of that is gone. I have an Axe FX and a fractal controller board with all switches and expression pedals. That's it.
Now, are you still traveling with your own cabinets, your own ISO cabs, or are you using different stuff in different cities?
No, I have my own cab with me. I have one cab, a Marshall 1960B with 100 watt selections in it, and it's a stereo cab. And I power it with two Electro Harmonics 22 caliber little power amp pedals. I use them for power amps. They're little amps, but I use them as my power amps.
Now, are you running the Axe FX into a power amp, or are you running it into the house?
I run an Axe FX into those little 22 caliber pedals to my cabinet, and then that's just for me as monitor. There's nothing. It's not mic'd or anything.
Right.
What you hear live is my DI signal, and those are running through two Palmer tube DIs.
Okay. So it's just the Axe FX now. It's been really reliable.
It's totally reliable, but it's not dialed into my exact likings yet because I've been learning all the different dimensions and dynamics of it mostly. And I've gotten really comfortable with everything is and what its limitations are and aren't now. And I'm now at a phase where it's like in this next window of opportunity, of time that we're gonna have as this tour finishes, I'm gonna have great perspective on how to really get all my sounds, album quality sounds. Like I'm gonna have the sounds from every album. I'm gonna tone match all my stuff proper. But before I even attempt the tone matching, I'm gonna dial them in, I'm gonna EQ it all as great as possible first with my cabinet, because my biggest mistake I've made using this thing is that I actually didn't use my cab to start with. And I only say it as a mistake because ultimately as a guitar player in a live band, we get into situations where we as a band jam, and as a band that jams, you need a cabinet. I do not have a monitor system and a PA to carry around to make my Axe FX sound good. I need a fucking cabinet. So after all this process, I'm now at the point where, like I said, I'm going to reconstruct all my stuff from scratch, from the form, from the base of the cabinet. And as I do it with the cabinet, the DI should just naturally fall in line. I might have to make some adjustments, but they're going to be pretty much an exact replicant of what's happening. I love that unit.
Speaking of sounds and textures and all that, how important is having your actual sounds to create your ideas for you? Like when you're writing and when you're riffing and stuff like that, are you just...
I'm going to say not important at all. And I say it because my experience making this record specifically, every sound practically I had going into the recording of it, I did not have or use at all when we actually recorded it. I actually made the sound for every guitar track as I did the guitar track when we made the record. Like we had a bunch of amps, our producers had a bunch of amps with them, and for instance, I would set up an amp and get it all dialed in the way I like that amp to sound, with what it had to offer me. Just straight, maybe I threw like a tube screamer in front of it, right? But I just used the amp. And then we take that sound, run it straight in the Axe FX, tone match it, boom, there was that sound. Take the amp away, do the track. And I did that for every take through the whole record. Just made the sound up as we were going.
The Telly. How did that come about? Because it's a little bit of a departure. I mean, you're used to using the ESP Horizon style bodies.
I'm a very superficial person, it should be noted, and that I love things simply because of their physical beauty. Telly is a beautiful looking guitar. So is the Horizon. I love them strictly for their beauty. Just so happens that they sound fucking amazing because the amount of wood in that fucker makes it solid as shit.
Now we know that you're a loyal ESP guy, and being a bit of a gear guy, you must have a collection outside of your ESP stuff.
I don't.
At all.
No.
All ESPs.
Everything. I have two basses. I have two Fender basses One is a bass that she gave me years ago, and then I have another 5-string bass that I traded one of my original 7 strings to my friend Christian. Played bass and guitar in Fear Factory. So he loved my guitar, and I said, well, I really love your bass too. And then I got that bass from him. We made that change when I very first switched to 7 strings. That was one of my first ones. He has one of my very first 7 strings I ever got. I had the very first 4 I have with 4 friends. I know exactly where they're all at. He has one of them, and I got his bass for it. And that bass, I love that bass, and I for years and years wanted to have another one made by Fender, and I never, for whatever reasons, it never got built and whatever. And then one day I was like, you know what? I don't even know why I even consider Fender. Like, I already got a kick-ass fucking guitar company. I asked them, I said, could you guys replicate this bass? I know you can, I'm just asking, would you? And they absolutely said yes, and they took my bass, and then 2 came back, looked exactly like it, but even better, because they were brand new and fucking sick. I was like, Fender bass has been put away. It's just a memento. It's an awesome unit, but I got these beautiful ESP versions of it. It's sick.
So you still get genuinely excited when you open up a new guitar?
Like I said, I'm simple, man. I would love to geek out and go all about specs with somebody, you know what I mean? But I don't really find it that important, even though I recognize it's important. Let's say I don't understand it. I do, but it's just not the thing that drives me, you know what I mean? Like if you were to look at my guitar collection, I mean, they're all the same with the exceptions that I have some Tellys in there. I actually have 2 of the V's, when Dave Mustaine had his V that ESP made. I have 2 of those. I have a baritone and then a standard scale. Those I only use them at home because I just, I can't find the balance on those things yet. I don't feel totally comfortable with the V. I have an old, the Explorers they made, an all black one, like James's all black one, before they had to stop making those. Fucking great.
Now, outside of ESP, there's nothing on your wish list?
Nothing.
Really? There's no guitar that you've always wanted to have? But obviously at this point you're pretty.
In fact, I can tell you that all the ones that people fantasize, fucking I laugh at. I just like, you gotta be kidding me, really? And I'm not gonna say no names, because I'm not here to fucking badmouth on anybody, but the dream guitars that everyone creams their pants over, I get a chuckle out of them. Not to say I don't appreciate them, because I got mad respect for these instruments, but at the same time, they're just, for my interest and what I enjoy doing, they don't suit my eyeball, and they don't suit my actual sounds that I'm seeking. They just don't match me. I love metal, and my core, isn't all I am now, but the guitar I love, it's gonna have some nice chunk on it, you know what I mean? It's gonna be solid. Simple power chords, bar chords. We can get all the hate in the world on these things, but all day long your song's gonna have one sooner or later in it. And you're gonna love that when it comes up.
Thanks so much for taking the time, man.
Yeah, man.
I really appreciate it, dude.
It's all good.